So Darkest Dungeon is a game that can induce large amounts of rage in any player that comes across this game. Thanks to its roguelike capabilities, losing characters due to random encounters, going through dungeons after dungeon and trying to keep your party alive just for the sake of beating this game, and is one of the most parts of keeping your party alive due to the integrity of Darkest Dungeon. Then we get to today's RPG of Itarus, the Lord of the Dead. You play as an angry Necromancer named Iratus on a quest to ravage the world. Welcome to Chaotic Inc. It's your host KSDTV, and if you're new here to the channel, then my goal is to find hidden gems and AAA RPGs on PC and mobile to be able to cover them, gameplays, guides, and news. And if that's something that you'll like, then definitely subscribe to the channel. So number one thing that I want to jump into is the pure gameplay of Iratus, the Lord of the Dead. Now for anybody that knows, just like what I said earlier in the video, it is exactly like Darkest Dungeon, but with a spin on it. Yes, it is a tactical roguelite game. So you play as Iratus, this demon lord guy that is basically a necromancer, and he utilizes his necromancy spells to raise up certain dead, wraiths, banshees, zombies, skeletons, and create his own army to be able to take over the world. So right before you jump into the game, you get a disclaimer that basically explains to you how difficult this game is. And from then you get technically 4 difficulties, which is called the Cakewalk, Good Always Wins, Eternal Harvest, and More Pain. The game will only let you start in the Cakewalk difficulty as the tutorial is set in that difficulty, and once you defeat the tutorial, you can either choose to stay in Cakewalk difficulty or move on to the harder difficulties. Now a little bit about the combat of it. Of course, it is just like Darkest Dungeon. Minions gets 5 basic attacks and 1 ult, and you can utilize this resource that is called Wrath. And now my favorite thing in this entire game is the sanity meter. So all human counterparts and any other enemy in the game has a sanity meter. We as our minions, they don't have any sanity since we're technically raising them from the dead. But you can utilize your minions to basically lower the sanity of the enemy, which would then either A, give them a heart attack or cause them to run, which is fairly cool, and I feel like the sanity meter is very overpowered. Now a quick tip for anybody that's playing this game, you must abuse the curse and the stress attacks off your minions, because that is literally like, it's just fun mixing that into the game and doing your regular physical attacks and your magic attacks and causing them just to go insane with your curse and stress attacks. It's all like a constant flow. And of course, whatever team you set up, you can have a team that all do curse attacks and stress attacks, and just dwindle the enemies down, debuff them all the way down to hell, and just to completely destroy them. Now, from then on, you can use your fallen foes to be able to create more minions, and it's basically essentially you are playing as Iratus himself and commanding your army. So throughout different points in the game, you can actually upgrade your destruction, your magic, your alchemy, and stuff through using the talents tree. And as well as that, throughout your entire journey, or you can even craft it yourself, you'll be able to come across 4 different artifacts, which is your weapons, your armors, your rings, and your amulets. But most of the time, the game is being played on this map, which would then allow you to travel to many different locations and come across many RPG-like things. So you get certain hidden quests where you have the option to choose whether you want to attack or sneak away, and it basically adds a little bit more story up to what exactly is going on in that given location. Now, there is an in-game currency called brains, which would basically allow you to upgrade your minions, and that technically affects their levels. However many brains that minion has, that is basically how many levels that minion is. Now, the graveyard itself is your base of operations. You can basically sit there and summon minions to be able to govern particular points, POIs, of your graveyard to be able to allow you to continue doing what you do. So you got your mortuary that basically allows you to heal your minions, and from there you got your arena that will allow you to gain XP for that whatever minion it is. You got your library so you can learn more, and so on and so forth. This game is very fun, and I got very addicted. I spent about maybe an hour trying to beat the first location, the first area, and it's just like Darkest Dungeon. Now, it's probably not as nitty and gritty and dark like the Darkest Dungeon, but I definitely love the fantasy aspect of Lord of the Dead. Granted, this game did come out not even about 2 years ago. It just became free to play for about a couple of days now on Epic Games. So if you guys want to play it, definitely hopping over Epic Games to grab it for yourself. Now, once you get a hang of the game and you start to learn the alchemy skill, that would technically end your tutorial, and the game will basically ask you if you want to continue playing on the cakewalk difficulty, or do you want to restart the game and try back again on a different difficulty. Which at this point, I continued playing on cakewalk because I honestly really had a good team and had a really good strat going on, so I didn't want to restart all the way over on a new difficulty and just lose all my progress. So I kept going with the cakewalk, got to be able to play all the way through the first mission, which would be the mines, and I got about a quarter of the way through the next area, which would be the dwarf tunnels. I have lost a couple of minions, but it isn't that bad since I can easily just resurrect them and create a brand new bunch. But it definitely starts to get a little bit scary when you do lose a minion, and all of that, when that minion dies, you don't really have a next good brain that has a high amount of levels. And when they don't have a high enough levels, you will basically have an underleveled minion. So definitely pick wisely on how you want to play out certain levels, because it definitely will get scary when you lose somebody, you resurrect them, and now they're completely weak and you don't have enough skills or materials you'll need to level them back up to what you would need it to be. Now, there are 5 major areas in the game that will allow you to actually beat the game, which you start off in the area of the mines, the dwarf tunnels, the mercenary barracks, the catacombs, and as well as the cathedral. All of these areas, once you defeat them, you'll be able to beat the game, and that will be it. But today was just mainly a first impressions. I was able to do as much as I can I beat all of the mines, and now I'm a quarter of the way through the dwarf tunnels. It was just first impression. I honestly really enjoyed this game, got really addicted to it and started playing, so I'm definitely going to try my hand in beating the game entirely off on the side, learn about more hidden gems or free RPGs, anything of nature for PC and mobile. Definitely subscribe to the channel. If you like today's video and you want to try Iratus out for yourself, then definitely like the video, show it to your friends. It is on the Epic Games Store right now. You guys only have maybe a couple of days or so left before the game is completely out of the free side of the Epic Games, and you have to actually buy it. So definitely go try it out. But it's been your host, KSDTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.
Manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make a penny. I ain't